A girl you're asking out has the right to say no to you. And that's okay because she's protecting herself. Because if anything happens, if she ends up sleeping with you and she gets pregnant, she is on the receiving end. She's the one that would suffer the pain of being a teenage pregnant girl, of being a teenage mother. So a girl has the right to protect herself.
Can we talk about love and relationship?
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Life, Love and Relationships. My name is Oluwakemi. Today's topic is a very sensitive one. I believe very much that the family is the smallest and also by far the most important unit of the society, of any community. If you watch one of our videos where we talked about accountability in the society, getting it right in the society, one of the things we emphasized is that if the family unit gets it right in terms of moral values, in terms of developing individuals and holding one another accountable, then it becomes easier for the community at large to get it right, even as far as your mental levels and all the structure that upholds all the pillars of the society. So I finished watching the series Adolescence, and it brought up a lot of questions. So if you haven't watched it, the summary of the series is that a 13-year-old was accused of murder. You know, how on earth would a 13-year-old, and the most painful thing is, if you look at the setting, it seems to have come from a very good family, responsible father, responsible mother. We didn't see any trait of toxicity in the family. Even to the sister, everybody seemed quite loving and just a very sweet family together. But unknown to them, the boy was suffering rejection. Because how else do you explain a 13-year-old boy killing a girl he's asking out simply because he has been turned down? Yes, at some point the girl kind of bullied him. There were social media signs as to telling him that he might be a virgin for a long time because no girl is allowing him to go out with them and all of those. But the real question here is, what role does family play in holding this sort of nuances, in holding it off? The truth is, our children would always experience things like this. As they grow, they are trying to understand what's going on in their body, the new chemistry they feel. They are growing sexual organs. For the females, breasts, puberty, hair on their armpit and their private part. For the men as well, they're experiencing these things. They start to experience wet dreams. And what role do we play as parents to make them understand what is going on in their body? Some days before I watched this, I was talking to my teenage daughter. I was asking her, do you feel loved enough? Are there points that you don't feel loved or you feel unloved? Don't mistake what is going on in your body to mean that you need external love or external validation. The love you're looking for is in you. And I went as far as saying that the love you're looking for is not in any boy's penis. Don't let any boy deceive you that there is love in his sexual desire towards you. Sex is different from love. So what do we do as parents when our teenage boys, our teenage daughters, they go through these experiences and they need answers? In our days, we didn't used to have this level of expansive conversations with our parents. How do you tell your parents that? How do you tell your mom, for instance, as a girl, that you're feeling this in your body? You started feeling some level of desire for the opposite sex. They're talking to you. What do you say? But the age we are in, we need to realize that there's just so much information that these children are open to. There's just too much information readily available to them and for them. So we need to take the bull by the horn. We need to be proactive to have certain conversations. In the case of the boy, for instance, a girl rejected you. does not make you any less as a boy. It doesn't speak to who you are. She has the right to say no because she's also trying to protect herself. So she's saying no, she cannot go out with you. Has nothing to do with your self-esteem. I mean, just put yourself in the shoes of your sister. Perhaps if they had this level of proactive conversation with him to make him understand that rejection from a fellow girl does not necessarily impact who you are, does not mean that you are less of a boy, does not mean that you are not enough. The girl has the right to protect herself because when push comes to shove, the females are always on the receiving end. So any smart girl at this point, if you ask them out, would want to protect themselves and not want to go out with you, not because they do not like you, but there is a natural tendency for a female to protect herself. So perhaps if they had this proactive conversations with him to say, look, what's going on in your body now, it's natural for you to desire a girl. It's natural for you to have, some sexual promptings in your body, but you do not have to necessarily pursue it or explore those things. So understand what's going on in your body. It's natural, but you're too young to explore it. You're too young to go after it in this moment. And if you feel any sort of liking to any girl, that's okay. You can befriend the girl. You start having friendly conversations with the girl, but you are not ready to have sexual exploit at this age because you're still trying to grapple with what is going on in your body. Even the girl is too young to understand what's going on. How far as parents can we take these type of conversations with our children? It is our responsibility to help them understand what is going on in their body, to help them understand that when they speak to the opposite sex or when they speak to an object of interest, in this case a girl, it's natural. It's okay for them to say no. It does not demean them. It does not say that they are less of a boy or they are less of a man. So as parents, we owe these children the responsibility to start having early conversations with them, to hear them, to ask them questions. What's going on with you right now? How do you feel? How do you understand what's going on with you? Hear them speak. When you hear them speak, once in a while, chip in your own understanding because clearly and truly, you've been through it. You've been through that age. You've been through those adolescence development. So you can help them. At this point, you're not helping just as a parent. You're helping as an adult in their lives who has gone through what they are currently going through. So you're speaking from a place of experience. But we need as parents to start taking ownership. Because again, like I said, that boy seemed to have come from a good home. And the truth is, the father felt bad, the mother felt bad. Like I always say, when one thing happens to a member of the family, it's like someone in a room catches, let's say, chicken pox. It's an airborne disease. It goes round. It catches up with everybody. When a family member suffers something, it has a way of impacting every other person in the family. Look at the way the father was crying. He was in tears because as a parent, you can feel the pain of the child. How do you explain that a child like that would be sentenced to life or whatever that he has to go through? I could feel the pain of the father. I could feel the pain of the mother. He felt that he had failed the child. But the truth is, there's no perfect parent. He believed he did what he could. Maybe, yes, there were some lapses here and there. There were some negligences here and there. But it's a lesson for us all. Let us have upfront conversations with these children as they grapple through the limitless information. In our days, we didn't have to struggle with that. In our days, we just had to look inwards and keep quiet about what is going on. But today, they have so much information. There is so much bullying going on. Look at the girl. She tried to bully him. And I would say that what she did was, it may look bad, but really, she was just trying to protect herself as a woman. Right? When a guy comes to you and you're not interested, there's a lesson here also for teenage girls. When a guy comes to you and is asking you out, and as a good child with good moral standards, you don't want to explore any sexual relationship with this boy. So as a good girl, it is natural for you to say no, to reject him. But learn to say no to a guy in a way that does not take away his respect, his humanity. You can say, oh no, I'm not interested, or can we just be friends? I don't like being alone with you in a quiet place. You can talk to him without demeaning him. Now, I'm not blaming the girl at all, because in the movie we saw that she was killed, and this is completely unacceptable. She is not responsible for what has happened to her. But lessons from this is the boy could not handle, he did not know how to handle the rejection. Is this a reason why he should have killed her? Absolutely not. But as a girl, you also want to protect yourself from this sort of thing. If a guy comes to you to ask you out and it's a guy you're not interested in, please say no without making him feel that he is less of a person. Parents as well, we need to speak up. Let us tell boys at this age that if a woman turns you down, if a girl turns you down, it doesn't mean, I think I've said this repeatedly, it doesn't mean that you're less of a person. Learn to accept rejection. A girl you're asking out has the right to say no to you. And that's okay, because she's protecting herself. Because if anything happens, if she ends up sleeping with you and she gets pregnant, she is on the receiving end. She's the one that would suffer the pain of being a teenage pregnant girl, of being a teenage mother. So a girl has the right to protect herself. Boys at this age, you have to learn rejection. It is okay. It's okay to desire a girl. It's okay to ask her out, but it is also okay for you to accept that she's not interested in you. As families, let us help our children. Let's be more proactive than our parents were in our days. Let's have those tough, uncomfortable conversations, no matter how uncomfortable they are. Let's protect our children. Let's help them to understand what is going on in their bodies. Let's help them understand the season of life they are in. It is not enough to let them go on the internet and Google things and research things on their own. Let us take ownership. As father, as mother, as a family, let's develop an open line of communication where the children, no matter how uncomfortable certain conversations are, they know they can come to mommy, they know they can come to daddy to have certain conversations. Sometimes when I'm speaking to my girls, I say, oh, is this because now they have started growing, So when I tell you, is this thing paining you, they're uncomfortable. But I tell them all the time, look, I've been through what you are going through, so I understand. It's okay, we can talk about it. I know there are many questions you have that you're not telling me. It's okay, come to me. Come to me, and they know that line of conversation is open, and they can come to me without judgment at any point in time. God will help us. The family is very important. If we get it right at the family level, the entire society would be better for it. I promise you. So let's take our responsibilities more seriously. And perhaps you feel that you've dropped the ball in one place or the other. Please do not blame yourself. What has happened in the past has happened, but what you have is now. Nobody is promised of the future. Nobody. So what you can do now, do it now. Start all these things. Make your children comfortable with you. Let them understand there are consequences for every action. Look at the boy. He did what he did, and he had to be separated, not just separated from his family. He ended up in the prison, in juvenile prison. He had to be tried on the court because excuses would never be made for him that because as a child, he will face the consequences of his action. May this never be our portion, because as I watched the man crying, my heart was wrenching apart. I could feel his pain. I could sincerely feel his pain, because the pain of your child is your pain. And you would start to ask yourself, where did you go wrong? And I loved one thing that the man did at the beginning. He kept telling the policeman, there is no way this could have been him. You are in the wrong house, because they know the child they raised. If you remember as well, this boy was doing so well in school. He was doing his grades were good. He was a good boy, so to speak. He just didn't know how to handle rejection. So please, let us help our children, even when they're uncomfortable. Whatever we need to do to make them feel comfortable with us, let's do it so that they are aware that this line of communication is open. I look forward to you having your comments. I also would love to learn from you. So please put in your comments, what could the parents have done better? God help us all in Jesus' name. Thank you. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button right now. Look forward to having you next week. Bye.